It may only be February, but we have already got our early contender for worst vinyl cash grab of the year, courtesy of the fine folks over at Vinyl Me Please. Let's get into it. So earlier today, I was perusing Instagram and I saw Vinyl Me Please make a post announcing a new John Coltrane A Love Supreme box set. So I just wanted to kind of read you what they had to say. So A Love Supreme 8 LP box set is now available for pre-order, including the complete album, 2 live albums, and outtakes together on vinyl for the first time ever. Vinyl Me Please also has 2 exclusive prints on their site featuring the artwork and unpublished photography of Victor Callan. Link in bio. I also did a bit more digging and was able to find the other information. All these records are mastered by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound. They're going to be pressed at the new Vinyl Me Please record pressing plant in Colorado, which I haven't heard anything about for a while, so that's interesting. I'll be curious to hear kind of what their quality control is like, what their processes are like. I did a video like a couple years back. Pretty interesting stuff, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Limited to 1,000 box sets. The album is going to be from the original analog tape, AAA reissue, and all of the other albums are going to be kind of from the best source that's available. This box set is going to be $400 for non-members and $300 for Vinyl Me Please members. So this got me curious immediately because this is one of my favorite albums. I'm not a box set guy. I'm not a complete collections guy. I kind of tend to avoid stuff that's the type of stuff that you sit down for an afternoon, you listen to all the material, and then it goes on your shelf and you never listen to it again. This seemed like it was maybe one of those, but I thought it was worthwhile to dig into it a little bit. But something rubbed me the wrong way pretty much immediately as I started to dig into this box set. I quickly realized that there's nothing new, interesting, or different about this box set. It's an overpriced repackage of readily available, easily accessible, and frankly pretty cheap records. In some cases, they even have expanded records that do not need to be expanded. I think maybe to just add extra records to the set so they can justify the high price tag. On the Vinyl Me Please site, I'm sorry if more information comes out about this later and I'm not totally accurate. I'm putting this out on February 14th, 2024, but they have an image of the box set as well as they have the track listings for each of the discs. And I started to kind of break them out to see kind of like, wait a minute, have we seen this material before? What's going on here? So the first disc in the box set is A Love Supreme, cut by Ryan K. Smith. And if you're a vinyl fan, a John Coltrane fan, you're probably, or an audiophile, you're probably well familiar with this, but this is the in-print Acoustic Sounds Analog Productions version of A Love Supreme. This one is also cut by Ryan K. Smith, so I'd be curious to hear if it's the same metalwork that both are using, or if it's a new mastering that Ryan K. Smith did. But this version is stunning. This is incredible. Highly recommend for anyone if you don't own A Love Supreme or you're looking to upgrade your copy of it. This is like $40 and available at pretty much any record store anywhere. So that's nothing new, and I mean, like, if you're buying an 8 LP set, you probably own several versions of this record already. This is where things start to get hairy. The second and third disc are John Coltrane A Love Supreme live in Seattle, which I actually have a bit of a soft spot for this album. This is A Love Supreme live in Seattle. This was my first YouTube video I ever made because I accidentally found an advanced copy at a record store, so I did an unboxing. But if you know this album, you know it's pretty much hot garbage and pretty universally known as being terrible. There is zero fidelity on this thing. It was recorded with like a microphone hanging from the roof behind a drum kit, so it just sounds really, really bad. I would compare this to like if you were at this show but like you had the runs and you spent the entire show in the bathroom listening to the show. That's kind of how this sounds. It's crap, but Ryan K. Smith is going to be cutting this one. This one was cut by Kevin Reeves. I don't know how much better Ryan Smith is going to be able to do just based on how bad the source material is, but maybe a marginal improvement on this, but absolutely should never be reissued again. So very curious to know why they would do that. This is readily available, always on sale on Amazon for like $20 because it's terrible. I see this in used bins, discount bins constantly. Ugh, so stupid that they decide to reissue and include this in the box set. Fourth and fifth records are actually pretty cool. It's A Love Supreme live in France, which I didn't know a ton about this record, so I apologize if I'm not completely accurate, but this is not in print on vinyl. It's never really been in print outside of like a few pressings that were done in Europe. It's available on like different like complete Love Supreme Deluxe box sets. I've listened to it on Spotify before. It's pretty good. Like the source quality's miles ahead of the Live in Seattle version. If this was done as a standalone like 2 LP set for like Record Store Day or something, I would totally get it, because I mean it's a decent source of a good show, cut by Ryan Smith. But right now, that's kind of the only thing that I think is interesting in the box set, is just this 2 LP live set. The 6th, 7th, and 8th disc, actually all the content appears on this, A Love Supreme, the complete master, which I got this on Amazon a few years ago. I think I paid like 25 bucks for it. 3 LP set, original stereo LP, quartet sessions, and the sextet sessions. And what they've done is they've taken LP 2 and 3 from this and made it into LP 6, 7, and 8. So they've expanded 2 LPs into 3 LPs of music for this new box set. So 2 of the discs are what they're calling the sextet sessions, and this is included in here as LP 3. The thing is, though, it's only 1 disc here. It's going to be 2 discs in the new box set. They've split it into 4 sides instead of 2, so instead of 22 minutes a side, it's now like 10 minutes, which I mean 22 minutes is getting into that higher register of where you're starting to lose fidelity, but it's not an outrageous amount of music. It's not like 24 or 25 minutes. Not sure if it was the mastering engineer's call or if it was the record label saying we need to justify, you know, a $400 price tag, we need to throw an extra disc in this box. I don't like that at all. And the 8th and final disc is what they're calling alternate takes, which is actually the quartet sessions. The track listing lines up. It's pretty standard stuff that you would get from like an extras or a deluxe set. Mono reference mix, vocal overdubs, breakdown, undub version, all that kind of stuff. But that is it. That is the content of the box. Obviously, there's special packaging. It's probably really nice, probably a great set, probably looks great on your shelf, but holy cow. You can get these 3 for like 120 bucks, and all those have great packaging, so it's not like those are like terrible. It's like you'll get slightly nicer packaging or like a few extras from this new box set, but I just don't like it. I started doing the math too, and this is another thing that just kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. Also, I hate when box sets will kind of like try to mislead you. They'll be like, oh, it's a 10 record set, but then you actually look into it and there's only like 4 or 5 albums, and it's just to make you like in your head do the quick math, like, okay, $300 divided by 10, oh, $30 a disc, but actually it's more like $60 a disc. But with this one, the 8 records you're getting, it actually works out to about 5 albums of content, and for $400 for non-members, that equals $80 per album. And if you remember, $300 per album, $60 per album, which is nuts, considering how many versions of these that you can find and how easily available they are and for how cheap. Also, another thing I just wanted to mention that I thought was kind of interesting was that Analog Productions put out their 2 LP double 45 of A Love Supreme like last year, and I've heard it's amazing. It's like 150 bucks. It's in print. If you're the target demographic for this new box set, you more than likely already own the UHQR, and you probably own all 3 of these already. You probably own a box set or 2. Like, you own CD box sets. You have ways to find this music. There's nothing going to be really new or interesting on this that you haven't seen before. The only real draw I see is that it's Ryan K. Smith who did it, where the mastering's probably going to be improved and the pressing might be more consistent versus some other versions that have been done in the past. I don't know, this whole thing has just got me kind of upset. The only thing that I think is interesting is that Live in France album, but that's just my thoughts. I mean, is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything that you think is actually pretty cool about this box? Is this an automatic avoid for you? I'd love to hear any of your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.